What's up, Ute fans? This is Alex Markham. You are watching the Crimson Connective. I'm really looking forward to kicking this stuff off for you guys. Yesterday we kind of talked about some of the things that we had in store. Really, it's about getting to know the players. It's not about anybody else but the players, but the program, and everybody that really just makes this thing run and work, right? And so, um, you know, we were given the opportunity to sit down with several of the newcomers. Still have a few more to go. All these that we're going to be running in the next little bit were actually before any media training. And again, one of the biggest things that I just took away from this is the type of player that Utah recruits. Just all business like with their approach, and just wants to get down to it, be part of a family, and win football games, right? And that was very apparent with everybody that we had talked to so far here. So without further ado, I want to introduce the first guy that we're going to be um, letting you guys kind of get a little bit more of an insight to. It's Indiana transfer Emery Simmons, wide receiver. Obviously, comes from a position that is of dire need to the football program the last few years. Even though the guys really kind of turned it up towards the end of last year. And I'll tell you before kicking in, without really giving too much into this stuff. Emery, he started off at North Carolina. Okay, he was the number 89 wide receiver out of Rivals. Coming out of high school, played there the majority of his career. Ended up going to Indiana. He ended up having 37 catches for 408 yards and one touchdown last year. And one of the big things that I've noticed with him, some of the other transfer guys, is they came to Utah for one reason, and it's the seriousness of the program. I shouldn't say one reason, right? But it all kind of ties together. The seriousness of the program, how they get down to business. It's just a champion mindset, and you do the right things are going to pay off for you, right? So he still obviously has the goal of the NFL in his mind, but he also knows that there's life after football. You guys are going to find some fun stuff that he wants to be able to eventually do with his mother as well as his father. So just some really cool kind of business approaches, right? But without further ado, again, I don't want to dive too deep into it. I'm just really looking forward to this. Again, this was a great interview that we thought we should kick this off with. So without further ado, I give everybody Emery Simmons. So here with newcomer Emery Simmons. Emery, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
So you transferred over to Utah in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to some unique places. Before I kick into the regular questions you usually ask, man, how's it been for you here, and like how does Utah kind of rate and compare to the city, the state and the city, right? Don't want to go Carl Malone on that stuff and call Utah City. My bad, but yeah, Salt Lake City, Utah. How does all that stuff rate to you compared to everywhere else you've been?
To me, it's kind of different. I mean, definitely for me, for being from the East Coast and coming from North Carolina, and this being like the first part of me seeing the West Coast, it's kind of a culture shock. But at the same time, I've really grown to like it for the little bit of time I have been here, just because it seems like a real cool, kind of peaceful place to be. I enjoy the scenery, going out on the highway, driving and stuff, and being able to see the mountains. Like, that's something I don't get to see too much back home. So that's the main thing that I've kind of like grown to love here at Utah, and kind of brought me to the place.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean the scenery out here, just the mountains.
It's amazing.
It
looks like a calendar, like the old calendars you used to get, and your mom used to hang them up. That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah,
the background of that.
Yeah, it's like a lot of times people that grew up in this area don't know what they have until they pull themselves away from it.
Mm-hmm. And see, with me, I'm used to just seeing country roads, big field, farm fields, stuff like that. And then coming out here and just seeing all mountains, it's really crazy, especially being surrounded by it 24/7. So.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Dude, so kicking into everything here, when you chose Utah, when you decided to transfer here, what were some of the biggest attributes that stood out that helped you make that decision?
Just the I just like the competitive nature of the school, of the university. Like across the board, all athletics seem to be very competitive. With the football program, I mean, being on the East Coast, you don't really hear too much about the Pac-12, but you heard about, of course, you heard about Utah, you heard about them, Oregon, USC. At the time, for me, that's all I heard about. So then, kind of doing my own research and then just kind of dabbling and looking at the games and stuff. I enjoyed the way you guys played. Well, we played. So that was one key piece of it. Then I love Coach Witt. Like Coach Witt gives me real like Godfather vibes. So like I feel like if you do right by him, he's gonna do right by you, and it's just like a family, just a family, good family setting around here.
You said something really interesting. I kind of want to touch on there, but you weren't really familiar with West Coast football and stuff like that, but you knew of like Utah, you knew of Oregon, you knew of UFC. That's what everybody knows back there. I don't. I know Ute fans understand that they have it good right now, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think that they fully grasp sometimes just how well respected Utah actually is in the national scene.
Oh no doubt. Like over there, like you might, like I said, it's not talked about a lot because of course you got like Alabama, Florida, all those schools on the East Coast. So of course the majority of the time them are the schools that's gonna get talked about the most. But then again too, if you're any type of like sports fan, you're gonna have the knowledge to go and watch ESPN and go and like see like the ticker and all that stuff. So you'll see the highlights of Pac-12 games. And then of course, like with me just being, on the football team and stuff in the mornings, of course the games over like will be earlier over here than it would be in the East Coast. It'll still match up to the noon kickoffs on Eastern timing, but they'll be earlier over here. So I'll still be able to get a chance to see like any Pac-12 games early in the morning if I'm like eating breakfast or anything before we got to go and head off to our games when I was like at Indiana or UNC. So that's how I kind of got my knowledge of the Pac-12 a little bit more just by watching that. And then, of course, when you win, you get talked about a lot more. So that was the case with here, two back.
Oh, yep.
So
that's awesome, man. So here's a fun little question for you, okay? So EA Sports College Football is going to be coming out, okay? Say you're a player on that game. Everybody grew up playing that, right?
Correct.
So describe to me your playing style that would be on that game. Mm-hmm. Give me one or two best attributes that you're going to have on that game. And by the end of I don't want to know necessarily what you feel like your rating would be right now, right? Mm-hmm. But by the end of this season, what is your rating going to be?
Okay, so I'll start out with my attributes. Attribute-wise, good hands, and I'm going to go up and get the ball regardless, I feel like. And when it's in there, I'm going to get it. I don't care who else around me. I can go up and get the ball regardless. Playing basketball, being in North Carolina, basketball was the main thing, so I just treat it like a rebound. So good hands and can go and get the ball, go up top and get the ball. I also feel like I'm fast and stuff too, but them the main two attributes that I feel like I would bring to the table. Now, as far as for my overall rating at the end of the season, I say
we've had humble and we've had cocky. So
I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit in between, just because it ain't Madden, it's NCAA. So NCAA ratings don't match the same as Madden ratings. So I'll go ahead and put mine. I'll just say like it's like 85, 86. Okay. That's to me that's decent.
That's a solid contributor.
That's solid.
That's a solid contributor. Mm-hmm. So I think Utah would take that all day, right?
I would hope so.
So what are you most looking forward to this season?
Really just getting out there and playing with these guys. They already kind of welcome me with open arms with coming here. So it's like now I feel like I'm a part of that family, the Ute family, and just kind of ready to see what this year holds. I want to go. Of course, I know these guys want to go, of course, back-to-back three-peat for the Pac-12, but I think now it's kind of like the boys know they can. It's a little bit more left on the table that we can go and get. So I feel like now it's more so chasing you already done conquered the two steps. The step of winning, being conference champions, but now we got to take that next step as far as playoffs and natty talk. So I think that's the next pieces that we're gonna work on. But I think that's the main thing I'm looking forward to. This will be my first year here, first and sadly last. So year of college football, so why not do it here in Utah? I get to see Rice Eccles, And then this year we got majority home games, so I get to play in it a little bit more. So take it all in, enjoy it, and ball out with these guys.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, look, when it comes down to it, you talk about, going for that three-peat, going for that natty. And, I'm sure one of the things that appealed to you is, Utah's getting better at the wide receiver position over the years, but there's that opportunity stepping in for that 1 year where you can help them take the offense to the next level.
Yes, sir. It's just all about, like, I'm grateful for any opportunity I get. I just feel like some of the things I do, I can provide help to the team. So it's just like I know what I've kind of like grown and trained for over the years. I mean, of course, growing up, been playing it since I was 5. I mean, it's always been a love. I always had a love for the game. It's just sometimes you never know. I mean, this game has its ups and downs, has its trials and tribulations. So you go through certain things. Path might be different than other people, but I mean, like I said, I'm fortunate and grateful enough to where I done been around the way, stayed healthy, and got blessed with the opportunity to be here. So I'm trying to take advantage of every bit of it.
Extremely humble too, man. So on and off the field, okay. What are your biggest motivators?
Biggest motivator for me is my family. It kind of sounds cliche just because I feel like that. I mean, that's a regular answer for most guys, but I mean, me, that's literally like my why. Just because I think of with this opportunity as far as like being able to have the gifts and everything to play football, go to the next level. I mean, play Division I and everything. Hopefully, get to the next level, to the league and everything. I can put other people in my family in positions that also capitalize and make bread for themselves. So that's my biggest thing. My mom, she wants to go into real estate and start doing real estate on her own. So I know right now with me, I'm taking real estate classes, trying to get my real estate license here while she's trying to get hers in North Carolina. So that could be one venture
cool.
we could do together as far as like mother and son. I know my dad loves sneakers, so eventually that'll be something I would want to do for him on his own, get him his own sneaker store and stuff like that. So that's what really brings me joy. I mean, I love playing football, don't get it wrong, but like I know all the sacrifices they kicked out for me, grandparents, mom, dad, like everybody they done sacrificed for me to get where I'm at now. So it'll feel a little good. It'll be right to only give it back to them. So that's just my biggest thing. That's the main thing I'm working for right now.
That stuff's important, man. They took care of you so much,
Right.
So, exactly. You kind of talked about how different things were a bit ago, right? So next thing I wanted to ask you is, when it comes to Salt Lake City, when it comes to the Utah football program, what of any of it actually reminds you of home?
The camaraderie. I just like the fact that it's not everybody works hard here, but it's not to the point to where it's like uptight. And because when stuff gets uptight, then that's when you get players who just like they don't feel comfortable being around the facilities, or you hurry up and that's when guys hurry up and get up out of facilities because they don't feel comfortable being around. Here, I don't get that. Like, as soon as first day here, everybody, like I say, everybody welcome me with open arms, and just sitting down and talking to guys like they really care about each other. And that's how I see, like, now I see why they won the Pac-12 2 years back to back. Cause I mean, it's such a big, like, family-oriented program, from the strength staff to the position coaches to the head man coach with. Everybody just seems like they follow a certain order, still know how to have a good time with it, but hey, when it's time to get down to business, it's time for business. So, and I think that's the main thing that attracted me here, just because I feel like the program is ran like a NFL program. In my eyes, I feel like everything is ran according to like an NFL program. So,
It's a good way to put it, honestly. So when the pads are off, what are we gonna find Emery doing?
So now that I'm now freshman year, you might have caught me outside a little bit more. Probably would have been going everywhere, little stuff here and there. But now, like just going on the 5th year and everything, I found my little groove, my little niche. I think I done grew accustomed to like playing FIFA. I like FIFA a lot. That wasn't really a game I really loved in the beginning, but now I done kind of got a grasp of it, kind of got the concept of it. That's what you'll catch me doing most of the days now. After I leave here, go home, do homework, hop on the game, play FIFA probably about 2 hours, and then after that, I'm watching Netflix or some documentaries or something like that. Real easy going, real easy going.
All right. So are you one of the better gamers on the team then?
I don't know that yet because some of the guys, it's only certain games I play though. So I feel like I'm a gamer, but I'm a gamer to a certain level. Like, I'm not a Call of Duty guy. I'm not a Fortnite guy. I play MLB, I play FIFA, I play Madden, and 2K. That's it. I play all sports.
I'm the same way if I'm doing those games, man. I can't do the other stuff.
I can't shooting games. I'm terrible at. And then like I'll play a fighting game. It just depends on if they bring Fight Night back or something like that. I'll get that. Right now I'm sticking to UFC. So, but I'll consider myself a slight gamer. I still get beat down here and there by some of my friends from back home, but I think I'm somewhat of a gamer.
Hey, at least you admit that you get beat sometimes. Like one of the guys was trying to say that the remote controls are jacked up around here.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you.
So.
I ain't gonna tell you a lie. I know the people. I know the people I play against, and they'll kind of come at me about it. So I'll be honest. I get beat here and there, but it's a process. You get better as time goes. So I ain't even tripping.
Mikey Matthews is the one that he was saying he's pretty good. But
I can see Mikey
but sometimes
saying that.
the remote controls don't work.
Yeah, I can see Mikey saying that. I can see that.
So game day playlist. What's going to be on it?
Well, initially I get up, try to listen to a little gospel music like Kurt Franklin, like upbeat gospel. Now it ain't your regular like sermon gospel, upbeat a little bit.
Sure.
Get the blood going a little bit and stuff like that. Then after that, once you hit the bus on the way to the stadium and all that stuff, it's all rap from there. But I range differently. I go 90s, early 2000s rap just from, that was the time was my parents were young. So
that's the only rap, man.
So that's what they was riding around with them. That's all I listened to. So 90s, that early 90s, early 2000 rap era, I got some songs from there.
Who's the go-to on that?
I'll say Jay-Z. For me, it's Jay-Z and I'll say T.I.
Okay.
Jay-Z and T.I. for me.
Two good choices.
But then, you got Jeezy and all those guys mixed up in too. Then you go, and then I got like the guys from now. So like Lil Baby, NBA Youngboy, which I think would be cool if we can possibly get him to a game. I would love that. I would love that.
Wait, you got Post Malone here too, man.
I thought he just vacationed here. I didn't know he stayed here.
Yeah,
I thought he just vacationed.
He's got his Raising Cane's, So
okay, so we might have to get Post Malone too. But yeah, so it'll be Dirt, NBA Youngboy, Lil Baby, and a couple of more guys. But that's kind of the main order. I'll go gospel music and slightly turn it up throughout the day whenever kickoff is.
I like it, dude. So the Raising Cane's that was just talked about here. He ended up designing it, and they painted it on the outside, the design that he did, and then there's like a whole bunch of his memorabilia.
Okay, well I probably drove past it. I probably didn't even know it was Raising Cane's, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, and then mostly I didn't. So my first time with having Cane's was actually last year when I was at Indiana, because I grew up off of Zaxby's.
Yeah.
So I'm still not gonna turn down Zaxby's, but Cane's is pretty good. Now the toast is definitely better than Zaxby's.
Okay.
But
I haven't had Zaxby's yet. You're gonna make me have to try it.
Yeah, I can't turn away from that. Can't turn away from Zaxby's because that's what I grew up on. But Cane's is definitely. I can see why y'all like that too, though. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Sure. Dude, so a couple more here for you, man. Newcomers, you're obviously going to be right in the thick of it for wide receiver. You can't mention yourself on this, okay? Mm-hmm. So out of the newcomers, aside from yourself, who's somebody that the fans should get excited and intrigued about that you're really high on?
Just because I knew him when I came up on my visit, Miles Battle, which he got here in the spring and everything. But yeah, I know he's still a newcomer. This will be his first season here at Utah too. So I feel like he's probably one of the newcomers that I'd keep an eye out for. Like I said, I'm real fond of him just because he told me his background story and everything. Like most of the guys, kind of that came in this year that I know, kind of had the same backstory as me. Like kind of got looked over a little bit. Not saying that you're a bad player or nothing like that, but didn't get the opportunities you wanted or get the shots that you thought you deserved. So I feel like here, though, now seeing him in the weight room, working out with him every day, then I live close by him and everything, hanging out with him outside of football. He's a real good guy, real good kid, and that's somebody I think is going to make a lot of noise here in that DB room with Zemiah on the other side.
Dude, that size in the
crazy.
DB room is nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah. 6'3", 6'4". The other guys, they're not teeny, man.
They're not at all, by far. So that's why I when I got here, that was my initial thought. I told her, I was like, dang, y'all guys y'all making me feel short, and I'm 6'1", but I still feel little.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but nah, they both seeing that on both sides. That's a scary combination. That's definitely a scary combination for a receiver.
It is, man. All right. So lastly, okay, finish the sentence. Game day at Rice Eccles is going to be
sensational. I'll say sensational. Smooth. I think it's gonna be smooth, loud, rowdy. It's a lot of different things. I don't know. I haven't experienced it yet. So right now, I think I'm gonna say rowdy, just because of last year. If we talking about, I'm gonna just go off of first game for the first game this year, just off of knowing off of last year what happened. So I'm gonna just say rowdy for the first game, because I already know what happened last year and it's home. Yeah. So it's gonna be a pretty good night. Thursday night ball. That's all right.
Well, hey, pleasure, man.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Good luck.
Thank you.